Hi, welcome back. Today we're making something quick, simple, and easy. It's football Sunday. I'm not trying to be in the kitchen all day, and I feel like eating something down home. So let's make curry chicken. We're all ready for football today. Look at the little football. Say hi. Say uh-oh. Say uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Anyway, let's go cook. As I said, curry chicken tends to be quick, simple, and easy. So first you want to start off with some clean chicken wings. I cleaned these using vinegar and some lime, and I rinsed them in water till the water was clear. Now I'm patting them dry, and then I'm going to add some of this Walker's Wood green seasoning. I think the flavors in this complement curry very well. And then you're going to season your chicken how you like. I use garlic salt, complete, a little bit of seasoning salt, black pepper. The reason I'm using what you may deem so much salt is because with curry you add water to it, and so you want to make sure that you're seasoning your meat well so that you don't lose that flavor once you add the water and water it down in the pot. And then the amount of black pepper you put in curry determines how spicy it'll be. You can also add like habanero or scotch bonnet, but the black pepper really sets the tone for the spice you want your curry. More black pepper, you have a spicier curry. Less black pepper, you have a less spicy curry. You want to make sure and massage that seasoning through the chicken, so and then let this cover it and let it sit for a little while, so that that seasoning could work through, get to the bones. And then in my curry I also add a little bit of cornstarch to the chicken because I like my curry gravy to be semi thick. I like a more firm gravy than the loose watery gravy, so I add cornstarch and that does the trick.
When I'm walking down them rocky, narrow dirt roads, with a basket of potatoes on my head. Oh, don't you worry, I come from down home.
So now you're going to cut up your vegetables while your chicken is marinating. You're going to use carrots, potatoes, and you want the potatoes to be cut like a medium size. You don't want them too small because they will mash down in the curry and you'll lose like the potato. It'll go in the gravy, like you'll lose it. So you want it a little bit thick so that you know it withstands the cooking of the curry. I use a squiggly cutter because I have a toddler and I want her to eat vegetables, and maybe a different shape would have her eat the vegetables. So that's why I'm using this, but you could use a regular knife. And now some people don't put garlic in their curry, but I put garlic in my curry because I feel like it adds an extra layer of flavor in there. I mean, sometimes you taste it, sometimes you don't, but it definitely adds another layer of flavor that I particularly enjoy in my curry. And then you want to cut up some onion, and then you want to set that aside because that's gonna cook down in the pot with the curry coming up soon. So now you want to get some oil in the bottom of your curry pot, and then you're gonna add like 2 to 3 tablespoons of that curry powder. I use Badia, but whatever curry powder you have works fine. And then you want to burn your curry. In this video you'll see that I didn't burn it as much. You definitely can burn it more, but you want your curry to burn down where it's aromatic, like you could smell it through your house. And once it starts like bubbling a little bit, then you know you're ready to add your chicken in there. You do not want to put raw curry on your chicken. curry is a spice and it's meant to be cooked before you add it to your meat. Anyway, so now you're gonna add the onion and the garlic in there and let that cook down with the curry as well. I also could have used a little bit more oil at the bottom of this pot, but it came out fine, so it is what it is. You stir in those onion and that garlic with that curry while it's cooking down, and then you're gonna add your chicken in pretty soon. Yeah. You will want to stir your chicken in with that curry and your onion and your garlic. Stir it in and then cover your pot and let that simmer down on low for a couple minutes. Chicken tends to make its own water, so you want that water to draw out the chicken. There you go. As you can see, it's made its own water. Vegetables. And so now you're good to add your thyme and your vegetables. You're going to add your potatoes and your carrots that you previously cut up, and then you're gonna stir those in with the curry so that everything's getting coated in that curry sauce. And then you're gonna cut. And I'm also going to add a little bit of water. A little bit more. All right. Now I'm gonna let this simmer down. I'm gonna add some pepper and let it simmer, and that's it. That's how you make curry. You can tell it cook. Once it cooked, you're done. This is how the pot looked about 15 minutes after simmering. It's getting there, but it's not there yet. As you can see, my gravy is starting to get thick. So I'm gonna cover this up and let it go for another 10 to 20 more minutes, depending. And so this was like 20 minutes later and the curry's done. As you can see, the gravy was thick, the potatoes were cooked. That's how I knew it was done. Now we're gonna work on our rice. I have 3 cups of water that I'm salting. I'm using jasmine rice for this. Enjoy. So I salted 3 cups of water. Shout out to the husband for the drink. And then I'm going to add 2 cups of jasmine rice. Now, typically the rice to water ratio is 1 to 2. However, you'll hear me say it soon. Steam cooks rice, water cooks grits. So go ahead and stir in your rice, and then you're going to let some of that water boil out. One of the creators on TikTok said steam cooked rice and grits, water cooked grits. Steam cooked rice and water cooked grits. And that's the advice I have for you. So you wanna, now that that water then boil down like that, you see it's still some water in there, then boil down. We're gonna put a piece of foil over it. Put the top back over it, and then turn it on low and let it cook for another 10 to 12 minutes, and then that'll be done. All right, now let's check this rice. Oh, beautiful. Now we're gonna fluff it. Take a fork, fluff your rice, and it's done. This could turn off. Oh, you know what I forget? Butter. I can add some butter to this. Oops. I forgot to add butter when I was cooking it, so I add some in just now. But yeah, I fluffing my rice. And not done. Smooth it back out. Alright. That's that. While that rice is finishing up, let's quickly make the coleslaw. So now that we have our cabbage and our carrots, we're gonna add a little bit of sugar. And how sweet you like your coleslaw would determine how much sugar you put in there. And then you want to take a lime and squeeze some of that in here. If I had to measure, I'd say like a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of fresh lime juice. And then we're gonna get some salt. So we have some salt and just probably like a quarter teaspoon. And then we have our black pepper right here. Sprinkle some black pepper. So there you have it. You have sugar, salt, and black pepper. And so now you want to take some mayonnaise, probably about 2 tablespoons. Add it in there. You could always add to it. You can't take out. So start with a little bit. Start with a little bit and then add as you need. Alright, so I tasted it. It needs a little bit more lime and a little bit more sugar. I already added the sugar. I added some lime. Okay. And then obviously it needs a little bit more mayo, and then that should be it. There you have it. Your bowl of coleslaw. Done. Now typically you eat corn with curry, but I have these plantain that look like they on that last leg. So I want to cook these before they go fully bad. So let's fry some plantain.
When your body's feeling low and run down, and you think you need a little pick-me-up.
Now, if you don't know how to fry plantain, I would recommend you sit and you watch this part. Don't move, don't pass go, just watch the plantain because they burn easily. As you can see, plates were clean, food was good. Bye.